Hi there, folks. This is your host, Nike Jester. We're looking at
Play it cool.
Star Drive. So I wanted to see who actually made the game there, so I'm letting you look at the intro there. Again, we're playing Star Drive, or actually we're going to be doing a Let's Play of this Star Drive game. For those of you who don't know, Star Drive is a real-time 4X space conquest game. It is pausable, so you are able to pause it at different times that you need it to. The reason I'm looking at Star Drive is, well, when it first came out, I got it, picked it up, played it, and thought, it's okay. It's not bad. It's alright. There's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing great. Didn't seem very polished and finished at the time it first came out. And from the reviews I read, that's kind of, everybody kind of had that same impression. But we have to remember that Star Drive is basically created by like one guy that was like, hey, we need a really cool 4X space game, and well, I'm sick and tired of waiting for one, so I'm going to make one, which is like awesome. That somebody, took the initiative like that and said, okay, well, if nobody else is going to create one, then let me try. But, like I said, when it first came out, it was a little bit unpolished. It just seems like it was a little, I don't know, a little different. And it's hard to put your finger on it. It just wasn't very interesting, I guess, or very intuitive. Wasn't sure what to do. And there is a tutorial built in the game. I don't remember if I played the tutorial or not, but like I said, I played it probably a couple times and said, alright, I'm done. Well, from what I understand, we can see down here in the bottom left, it has now been patched up to 1.15. This patch was released, the most recent one, in January 18th, 2014. So basically a couple weeks ago. And a lot of people are saying now that this game is pretty polished and pretty well complete. So it's good to see that there's still this person, I'm sorry I don't know the person's name, but it's good to see that they are finishing up the project. I'd heard that this person is also now starting a new project. I don't know much about that. I just happened to catch a glimpse when I was out on some of the websites and stuff. Somebody had mentioned that or written that down. But it's good to know that they're still updating this, and from what I understand, it's pretty well done, pretty well polished. So we're going to look at Star Drive here. Again, it's a 4X real-time space strategy game. And it has some pretty cool things to it. First of all, the graphics, as you can see on this load screen, are pretty decent. They are very nice, not too bad. It's interesting. You got these little asteroids flying through the sky every once in a while. So I mean, it's it doesn't detract from the game, but it's definitely nice looking screen. So the options are pretty well. You can see here: new game, tutorial, load game, options, mods, and exits. Speaking of mods, from what I understand, this game is very moddable. The design of the game was so that when the game was finished, it was going to be able to be modded. I know that there's some mods out there. I haven't downloaded or tried any of them out, but you might want to. So this is going to be a Let's Play. We're going to go through this step by step. In the beginning, it's going to be kind of slow. We're going to go through everything for those of you who have not played this game or haven't played it in a long time. And we're going to try it out and check out what it can do and what it's how it plays and everything. And for those of you who already own it, you might want to reinstall it and give it another try yourself. For those of you who don't have the game yet, this is going to be a check to see how interesting it is and to see if it's something you might want to pick up. You get this on Steam. I think it's only like $20. I think I pre-ordered it, so it was like, I don't know, less than $15 back in the day, I think. But definitely you can get this on Steam, and it seems it's pretty reasonably priced. So we got a new game. Again, mods. I don't have any installed. If we click it, you'll see I don't have any installed. Oops. How do I get it out of there? There we go. As far as the options go, You can see the options are pretty limited here, which kind of shows you that it's just something the developer just doesn't have a lot of time to devote himself to. And I personally would much rather have the developer of the games concentrate on the actual gameplay and what's going in the game than on menus like this and creating options for you. The options that are there are very reasonable. You can play it either full screen or windowed, your different resolutions, your music and your effect sounds, and that's pretty much, what else would you possibly need? Maybe customize your keyboard layout and stuff, but I'm not sure. We'll look at that when we finally get into a game. So mods, options, obviously load game will load a previously saved game. I don't know if your save games are workable in the new version of StarDrive 1.15, so we're just going to start a new one up anyways. A tutorial, like I said, I don't remember much about the tutorial. Oh yeah, I think it's like just a window thing. Okay, so it kind of gives you just an overview of what's the game's like. You can hit the plus and minus, space to pause the game. You can right click for content, hold shift to queue move orders or attacks, hold alt for ship to move in a straight line rather than plotting a course. With the fleet selected, right click for formation move, shift move at speed. Oops, oh, I did not mean to do that. Okay, so there's multiple parts. That's cool. Okay. So that's something. I was thinking it was just a one screen, but obviously it's a whole bunch of screens that kind of show you how to play the game, but I guess that's what I'm here for, right? Alright, and so let's start up a new game. So you can see over here on the left hand side, I believe there are 8 different races. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, there are 8 different races, ranging from your typical humans to your jungle creatures, to your bug creatures, cybernetics, all kinds of different factions here. One of the good things, obviously, is that you can devise a custom race based upon your different factions here. Let's see what we got here. Race of terrestrial beings with an average reproduction rate and unremarkable dietary needs, have no particular strength or weakness. However, Elijah are extremely intelligent for a spacefaring race and have a natural curiosity about the universe. Their government is functional and stable. So they are smart, they got a huge homeworld, and they're spiritual. Which of course we can decide to, basically if we decide, oh, we don't want to be smart, we just click it to get rid of it, and we're going to have 3 points to spend, which we can then put towards other attributes. So there are physical attributes, there's social attributes, and there are history and tradition. So you can see we have a home world, which is 3 points. The racial home world is much larger than the average, allowing 25% more population maximum for 3 points. So obviously if you wanted a polluted harm world, you get minus, you could click this to get additional 2 points, because this is worth minus 2 points. So lots of different options there. History and tradition. Psychology, we have, do we have any? We do not have any. And physical, we were smart, which is intelligent races gain a 35% bonus to research efforts, which is we are 3 points. Spiritual, let's look at spiritual if we can here. There's spiritual. Spiritual races are ritualistic and religious. They gain a 50% bonus to all efforts received from artifacts. So obviously if you take this, you can try to expand out, get those artifacts that are scattered around throughout the galaxy, and if you do, you get a 50% bonus to that. That's not bad. Let's just look around and see what we have here. Just to see if we want to make our own. I think what I'll do is I'll get rid of spiritual, and we'll just make our own custom race here, just to try out something. So we're skilled engineers. Result in 20% overall increase to ship module hit points. So your ships would be a little bit tougher. 20% penalty to modular hit points, so your ships are not as good. Corrupt, meticulous, earning a 25% bonus to taxes. Let's do that. What's this? Timid, -2. Hello? I didn't click that, did I? No, I don't want that, thank you. So we still have 1 point to spend. I don't want to be timid. Let's see, what do we have for 1 point? Let's see. Psychology, here's a 1-pointer. Meticulous, oh, we already have that. Duh. Industrial homeworld. Trees, who needs trees? What your people need is room for more factories. +1 homeworld richness. And then, again, this is just your homeworld, though, so I don't know. Let's get rid of actually getting a huge homeworld. Let's really customize our race here. We can be militaristic. I know I'm wasting a lot of time in here, but I think if you're going to be playing a game, this would be kind of interesting. Efficient races earn 25% reduction on ship and building maintenance costs due to their conservative and intelligent use of resources, which goes back to us being so smart. So that kind of plays in with our race. So that's what we will do. Alright, so up here at the top, you can enter your empire name, your race name singular, okay, and a plural, that's interesting. There we go. Oops, get your fingers on the right part of the keyboard. Race name plural, that's fine. Oops, come on, seriously. There we go, homeworld system. I like to rename this to something I know. Alright, so you got quite a good. Alright, so we have our flag color. Alright, so what do we want to do here? Do we want to be a nice light bluish? I'm just trying. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got different options there. It can be like a purple color, kind of a reddish color. This is kind of nice to have this option. How about a nice bright green so we stand out? That's what I like. That's good. And let's look at our flag. Tree, dragon. A coyote's kind of nice. See if we can just find something. Oh, I kind of like that. Yeah, that's what I like. Alright, galaxy size. So let's look at our different options here. We have tiny, small, medium, large, epic. So we're actually going to try a... Let's just try small. We're not going to try to play too long. Solar systems, normal, abundant, crowded, rare, uncommon. That's it. Lots of choices in this game. I like that to begin with. You can set up lots of different games, play different ways. I like that. Normal. Opponents, since we're in a small, we can go from 1 to 7 because there's 8 races total. So small, we don't want to be too crowded right off the bat. But we'd like to have some diplomatic options as well. So maybe 4. Game modes. Okay, it looks like there's only one game mode. That's interesting they would put that up there. I knew they were going to try to incorporate other game modes, but obviously they never get around to. Alright, so the game's pace modifies the research and construction time for every planet. A higher pace setting would result in a longer, more drawn-out game. Alright, so if you wanted took longer time, because this is real time, so if I sit here for 10 minutes and do nothing but, click on a research button, it'll take, 10 real minutes to complete it. That's how long it would take. So if you wanted to say 20 minutes, so you want it more drawn out, you can do that. Difficulty. Let's look at our easy, normal, hard, brutal. I mean, normally I'd play at normal, but I'm thinking maybe easy because we want to be able to... Well, alright, let's play it at normal. That's fine. We don't want it at hard or brutal. I haven't played in a long time. I was just checking out some videos online a little bit ago. Alright, so this tells you a little bit about your race, your points, rule options. Let's see here. You may enable various equipment gameplay rules to alter your gameplay experience. Find it in-system FTL speed modifier. You can lower the FTL speeds of ships that are within the gravity wells of solar systems. A value of 100% provides no penalty, whereas a 10% value of 0 will completely inhibit warp inside a solar system. Alright, well, I'll just leave that on the default, I guess. And, of course, there's an abort option. Here, it looks like each race has its own set of ships. So we're going to be the Rallyeh. Rallyeh? R-A-L-Y-E-H. So Rallyeh. I'm going to call them the Rallyeh. So if you don't like it, sorry. So we're the Rallyeh devoted. Alright, so let's engage and see what happens. Oh, again, nice screen. Very nice. Manageable. Can you rotate it? Nope. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is put the game on pause. We're going to do that by hitting the space bar. Now, if we click on the main menu, we go to options. Is there any more options? Okay. I just wanted to see in the game if there was more options. So the options in the game are to save, load, return, and blah, 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 blah. Exit to the main window. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is hit space, put your game on pause. So your mouse... roller scrolls in and out. Okay. Let's see. Right click. Let's see here. Okay, your arrow key on your arrow keys on your keyboard, which I like. We'll just go up and down. If we double click on something, okay. Just wanted to see. So you can see our little star base here around our world. It's a rotating, nice galaxy look behind. So again, it's going to be Let's Play, but this is also Let's Look at, Investigate, and Check Out. So here we are down in the bottom right hand corner. We're kind of in the, we're kind of in the, little bit of the center of the galaxy here. Let's see if we click on our system. A star here. Nope, can't see. So if we click on this, will tell us some information. We can zoom right down to the world. Worlds look really nice. Really nice. This looks like a lava planet, obviously. Of course, my roller on my mouse sucks, but... Alright, so we have some ships here. We have a colonizer. And we have a Inquisitor Scout. Alright, so we will use these soon. Alright, so let's look at our homeworld. So the homeworld is broken up into different quadrants based upon its total size. This is kind of cool. I don't remember that being here before. It might have been. And like I said, a lot of these things that I mentioned might have been here before and I just don't know them. But we'll just play it by ear and see what happens. So I don't remember that money being there. So you can see our colonies making 1.71 money. Okay, so on the left-hand side, well, let's look at the top here. Okay, yes, Good. Alright, so here's the way this game basically breaks down. This is your population. We have 14 and 14. This is our fertility of our planet, which is 2, and our richness, which is 1. So basically, the way I believe this game works is because we have a fertility of 2, and we basically have 14 people, we would make 2 times 14, or 28 food every, not every turn because it's real base, so every tick, whatever you want to call it, every, I don't know what a tick is in this game. It might be 10 seconds, it might be 30 seconds, I don't know. And same thing goes with the richness. Our richness here is 1, so we would make 14 industry basically every turn. And you can assign your people to different things. So you will each population point needs basically 1 food to survive and continue being prosperous and everything. So you can see we make twice as much food as we need. So if we were to make this go down to exactly 50%, if I can get it right on the 50% marker, which is there, you will notice we have 0 extra food. That's because half of our population is now doing food. Half of our population, half of our food, half of our population would be 7. 7 times 2 is 14. We need 14 food to feed us. So that, we don't need any extra food unless we want to grow, but we're at our maximum population of our size of our planet. So in this case, we don't want our food, we don't need our food to be extra, other than any extra we make will come down here and be stored in our storage capacities that we can then use to transport the extra food to other planets that need food. And we'll have to build some transport ships, and basically the transport ships will say, okay, you got extra food, this planet needs food, it'll come and take the food from our planet and just head it over to the other planet. So that's we can actually automate that up here in the, oops, let's get out of this screen. I believe it's, maybe it's down here. Nope, I don't need that. Maybe it's down here now. Oh, there's the AI. Okay, so down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our mini map, obviously, of the galaxy. You can see we've got a couple systems right here next to us. In fact, we have this nice break around us. If we could just solidify all these planets in this little quadrant here, that would be awesome. And then, in fact, that's our goal. Because we have this nice, looks like a nice wide road that goes between us and the rest of the galaxy. Put the other races over here, make them fight it out. Last man standing wins. Anyways, these buttons here will do several things. The first one on the bottom is the AI, and you can tell it to do certain things. So one of the things you can tell it to do is automate the freighters, okay? Which means when you have freighters built, they will automatically say, okay, this planet needs food, this planet has extra food, let me go pick up food from this planet and take it over there. If you want to manually do that yourself, feel free to do that if you want, but I would rather not. The other options are auto ground combat. We'll look at that later. I'm actually going to turn that off so I can show you how it's done, and then we might turn that on later. Auto build projectors. Okay, so here's the way projectors work. If we zoom out a little bit, basically we have other stars around us, and our ships can get there, and they can use FTLs to get there, but it's still kind of slowish in the way it does things. What you can do with these projectors are you build them along in between your 2 planets, and the ships get in there and it just gives them a bonus to the speeds to get through there. So you can automate that building process as well. So your ships will they'll build some construction ships, and the construction ships will come out here and just start building these lanes in between the different systems. You can auto-colonize, and this is a really nice addition. I don't remember this before, but you can basically tell it which ship to auto-colonize with, and we'll get to that here in a few minutes. And you can auto-explore, and this is going to be a different, you can choose your different scout ships. So if we click on that, we can say, oh, let's use our Inceptor. I think we only have 2 different kinds of ships in this game right now. Of course, the game is, while I'm talking about it, is paused. So we got this nice green. Unfortunately, we got this nebula right behind us, so we can't see the green. We should have maybe made our green a little bit darker. Oh well. I think it's a little bit too late for that now, isn't it? Alright, so the first button down here is AI. So probably the first thing you want to do is automate your freighters. And you can automate the rest of this stuff, but I'm not going to, just to show you how it works. Next button up is the hotkey, which is J, which opens the fleet panel. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But that is the fleet panel. Now, how do I get out of it? If I hit the F button again, no, it just brings it up. Okay, that's the fleet panel. We don't have that. Ship list of our empire. So this brings up all of our different ships, tells you what their role there is, tell you what they're doing. You can give them orders from here, so we can tell it to retrofit or whatever. No, I don't want to. Hello. I don't want to do that. Okay. You can tell it to stop. It tells you the ship's strength, how much it's costing you in maintenance, if there's any troops on board, the FTL speed, and the STL speed, which is the sublight speed of the ship. I like this that has an X on it because some of these other screens didn't. The next key up is planets, so it shows you a list of all your different planets. We'll look at that when the time comes. We also have zoom out to the galaxy view, okay, and we also have zoom in. So those keys are page up and page down. Alright, so now we know. Page up, page down. There we go. It's interesting that you can't change those keys, but okay. This actually works really well for me because I'm a left-handed person, so I've been mousing my left hand. My right hand is usually on the arrow keys when I play like first-person shooters or anything. And my other keys that I like to use are the delete key, the end key, the page up and page down, and all those keys right above my arrows. So this would be perfect for me. Alright, so again, we're doing a Let's Play, but this is more, at the beginning obviously is going to be a, hey, let's look at this game. What does it do? What can we do with it? How does it operate? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there going, Star Drive, gosh, I don't remember that. Or if I did play it, I don't remember much about it. So this is a refresher for those people. Alright, so when you click on a planet, down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the population size. You can see our little flag. More importantly, these are going to be our sliders, which we're going to go back into and look at. There's also indicates the colony's total strength versus ground invasion. So right now we have a 25 strength. You can also click this button, which will go to the colony overview, and this is the ground assault view for this planet where you can go land troops and order bombardments. Alright, so we're going to click on the little eyeball to go look at it again. So we were in this menu once, and we started talking about all the different sliders. Then, of course, I got sidetracked. So again, basically your fertility and richness, what you're going to do is multiply that by whatever your current population is, and that's how much you're going to make in food and industry. Okay? And your total amount of people are going to be how much. This is going to be your breakdown of how you're spending your people. So right now, basically, since we have 14 people, okay, it's not really 14 people. All right, it's 14 billion people or whatever, million people. But basically, just I'm trying to simplify it here. It's 14 people. Half our people on food. That gives us 7 food. Each person makes 1 food. We get a fertility of 2, which means each person makes 2 food. 7 times 2 is 14. You can see that we have no extra food, but we're keeping everybody happy. You notice if I take this lower, oh, I gotta unlock it. If I take it lower, oh, we got a red number, which means we're losing food. And if I take it up this way, you will see we're gaining some food, which will go into our little food storage. So I'm going to take this right back down to 0-ish again, if I could do that. My mouse is a little finicky, so... Alright. So now I click on the lock button, that slider won't go. So now I have 7 other people that I can basically decide what I'm going to do with. I can put them all into research, and I'm going to earn 3.5 in research. If I do this, I'm going to earn 5.3. Now, the reason these numbers are not 7 is because you're basically getting taxes out of some of the production, so you don't get your full bonus on production. I believe that's set up in your when we look at our taxes. I believe that percentage is taken out. So instead of getting 7 industry, we're basically we're getting 5.3 industry, and we're getting 1.7 in taxes, or percentage of that amount in taxes. And of course, the same thing goes with your research. So you can kind of balance these sliders out however you want. I mean, you can have extra food. You can put it all into food. You can see if we put it all into food, we'd have 14 food. So let's bring this back down. So we're going to, oops, I needed to balance that out again. Alright, so we're going to put this into, let's do like this. Alright, so again, this is your storage, and then the very important option next to this is you can tell your planet to either export, store, or import either food or industry. So this game is very simplistic that way, and it's very good that way, actually. Very nice. It's very manageable. You understand pretty easily. So if I have extra food, place needs extra food, it's just going to start importing it. Exporting it. If I don't have enough food here, because I want to crank up my industry, then I would definitely have to switch this option to import food. Okay, or you can just start storing up your food, any extra food, and that way you can store it for a time that maybe you need it. If you click on the export, if all your systems out there need food, it's going to be taking it from here. You'll never store it. Store is probably only an option you're going to use if you want to make sure there's not a bad situation later on where all of a sudden you need food but you don't have any food because you've been pushing it out to all your other colonies. Alright, so you're going to basically be importing or exporting. So in this colony, obviously, since it's our home one, we're going to have plenty of extras, hopefully, and we're going to be exporting it. So this is your basically your planet here. You can see we have a spaceport on here. If you hover over it, it'll tell you what it does. It's going to give you plus 50% increase to taxable income, and also it has 0.75 credits per turn in maintenance. This here is our capital city, which gives us a base 0.5 research per turn per assigned colonist. And you notice how it says per assigned colonist, because basically you're taking your 14 population and you're assigning them to different jobs. So basically this is going to be 0.5 research per turn per assigned colonist. It has combat strength at 25. That's why earlier we saw we have a defense of 25 in this colony. This is the net income of this planet. If we click on this, will it do anything? Nope. Okay. Up here on the top is your little arrows. You can go from this colony to the next colony. We obviously don't have a colony right now, so we can't go on to the next colony. Over here is going to be your build queue. You can build buildings, ships, or troops. You can see with scouts, we can build another scout. We can build a freighter. That's going to be our colonizer, and this is going to be our transport freighters. It's going to transport stuff between the colonies. And of course we have our little interceptor fighter. And this is our troops, so we can build on our planet to help defend it. If an enemy comes down and lands troops on our planet, these guys will start fighting And of course, when we click on something, it'll come down here into the queue, and it will start building. Of course, this is real time, so you'll see a little progress bar going. You know, depending on how much industry you're putting in, it might take, say, 30 seconds to build this guy, and it might take 3 minutes to build a guy, or 10 minutes to build a guy, based on how much industry you're putting into it and how expensive it is. Alright, so before normally we would just add a scout, but we're not going to do that yet. We are actually, we're actually going to go into our shipyard here, because what we want to do is we want to look at these super cool, really neat options for designing your own ships. And in fact, one of the best attributes this game has is its ship building and how the combat works, where if a target comes in this way, you know, a laser beam comes in and hits this quadrant here, and ends up doing enough damage to blow this thing up, depending on what this thing is here. If it's a reactor or something, it can blow up the whole ship. If your reactor's way over here, then the ship comes in and hits this spot, and it's just, say, you know, storage or whatever, then it's not going to do much. You know, it takes some hit points off the ship, but it's not going to blow it up. So how you design your ships is very important. So you can see some of these little sectors have an O on them and some have an I. And basically what this means is this is exterior on the outside. O is for outside. I is for inside. So this is inside components and this is outside components. So what we want to do is we want to actually load up our we want to select our hull here. No, these are different hulls. How do I... Okay, here, load. Alright, so this is down here at the bottom. Let's just exit on that so I can show you what I did. So down here at the bottom, there's a toggle overlays, there are a load, and there's a save as. So we want to load. What we want to do is we want to load our basic scout up, and we want to take a look at it. And you can see that it has some small engines on it. It has a couple of nuclear reactors. It has a cockpit, and it has some fuel cells on there. So not a lot going on with this scout here. So what we want to do is we want to we're going to take everything off of that for now, okay, and we're going to try and design our own. So this is our little scout ship. You can see we have different quadrants on the ship. I already mentioned the I stands for inside, O stands for outside. There's also E, which stands for engines. So when you're building the ships, different components are going to have different, it's going to be an I or an O, which means the small fuel cell can go either in an I or an O. If we look at engines, you will see an E there, so it can only go in the E slots. So it originally had these small engines, right? That's what it already had there. And if we look at this, it is going to give us a speed. It might not tell us right off the bat. Oh, down here it'll show us. This is okay. This is what I want to show you. So our small engines here have a thrust of 13, a warp of 14, and a turn of 13. This is much nicer. This is much nicer than I remember. In fact, what I remember before, it used to say like 13,826, 14,528, you know, and just give you too much, because they're like 13,826, 14, wow, 14 sounds like a lot more, but you can see here 13, 14, 13. We also already have this small warp engine, okay? And the small warp engine is really cool because you can see what happens. Thrust is 8K, our warp is 88K, which is 10 times better, and our turn is 8K. So basically our small engines are good for ships that so warp is basically to go long distance between star systems, okay? Your thrust is going to be used once you get to that star system to go between the planets in that star system And then your turn is actually going to be in combat where you're turning and trying to maneuver to get around ships and stuff. So this is basically your small engine is your basic overview of an engine that's going to be kind of good at everything, but not really good at any one thing. It's going to be good at thrusting, it's going to be good at warp, and it's going to be good at turning. But it's just going to be good, straight across the board. Now our small warp engine here, you can see, is bad in thrusting. It's only 8. It's super good at warp, and the turn radius is bad as well. So what we want, and this is a scout ship here, I want this scout ship to be able to fly between the long distance between the systems, and I'm not really worried about its thrust or turning at all. I just want it to go scout a system, then warp to the next one. I don't want it to be really slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our small warp engines, which are going to give us much better warp. We still have a little bit of thrust, and we have a little bit of turning. Not as good as the other ship, obviously, but that's going to be important for us. So we put those suckers on there. Alright, so what else do we need on this ship? Well, the other thing we need is command. Every ship must have a cockpit. So you can see a cockpit is only an eye. So you can only put this into an eye spot. So every one of our spots are both I and O. So it's green. We can put it anywhere we want. So we'll just put it there for now. What else does it need? We need some power, right? We got our engines. Now we want our fuel cells. Fuel cell captures and stores power from a ship's power plant, increasing the ship's effective operational range. So let's look. So the next question I have is, do we want to put any kind of defensive weapons on this or not? We own, what do we own? What do we have? PD Vulcan cannon. It's a small rapid-fire machine gun capable of shredding light machines. We have a flak turret, a small flak turret, scatter flak turret, which is flak munition. Okay, do we want to actually add... Because if we add this, then we need to add supply ordnance and stuff. Well, let's just make a basic... Let's just make a basic one. So we have a medium fuel cell. You will notice the medium takes up 4 spots. So I couldn't obviously put it there because there's no 4 spots there. But I could put it there. Right? Yes. Which is going to give us a lot of power storage. Mass of 4. Health of 400. Power capacity. If we do this, what happens? Power conduits are interesting in that wherever your power source is, and we have our power sources here, our nuclear reactor or our medium nuclear reactor. In this case, we just need a small one. We're just going to put a small reactor in there, and you'll notice as soon as we do that, we got powered everything. But a nuclear reactor basically only does within 2 spaces of it. So from here to here, I believe it's power. Does it tell it on here? I believe it's 2 spaces. So what I want to do is probably not put it there. What I probably want to do is put it up here. But you see, yeah, once it's too far away from that. So what we can do is put our power conduit in here. Now, power conduit basically will link up. You notice when we did that, it came in here. Our power conduit will link up our power source to anything within 4 spaces of it. So our power conduit will do that. So now everything's got power, and the last thing is we'll probably just put fuel cells in here. And that way it'll be able to just keep going and be able to go really fast. We won't put any weapons on here. If you do like these this cannon here. It shoots a rapid-fire machine gun capable of striking light armored targets in a storm of alter uranium-tipped rounds. Point-effect weapon automatically engage incoming missiles and have bonus damage versus missile defense. But when you start putting that stuff in, the next thing you need is ordnance. So you're going to start putting in ordnance because your guns will run out of ordnance. So I don't want to take up a whole bunch of space with that, do I? Oh my gosh. Maybe we do. Put one there and one there. And then let's put some ordnance in there. But then we only have one. So our FTL speed is 123, our sublight, turn radius, ordnance capacity 58, total hit points 1.2. Cargo, it's got no cargo space. Let's combine. And this is where I was telling you earlier that people can just sit here and mess around with this. So we'll compare that with just going with small fuel cells. We will be able to just put that in there. Get rid of our weapons. Hit points go down, obviously. Power recharge is fine. Plenty of power capacity. FTL is 153. I can't remember what the other one was, but I think our sublight speed 400. Our turn radius, I think, was ready. I just wonder if we run into somebody, we might want to have something out there. Well, you notice our sublight speed, our FTL speed. Let's see. We could just make our ship really light. FTL speed 161. Yeah, that's... Yeah, see, the more weight sends our FTL speed down. So three batteries, our nuclear reactor, our power conduit, which will power both our engines, and we will save this. Every ship requires a command module. Oh, yes. Oops. We need a command module. Oh, wait, I thought I put a cockpit, bridge, or command information center. Additionally, all the ship's available spots must be filled. Oh, okay, that's why. I was going to say, I got a command center here, cockpit. Must fill up all the spots. Okay, so we could put in some armor. Let's see what this does to our speed. Oh, it drops it way down. Yeah, so we don't want that. Alright, let's just put in our small fuel cells. That's fine. Now we'll save this as... We're going to save this as the Spider. Since it's a Scout, I like to use names that, you know, S, Spider, S, Scout, so I will know. Alright, so that was kind of more in depth and longer than I was hoping for, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this episode to a close, but we've designed a new ship. We can do that with all of our ships. In fact, we're going to do the same thing with our colony ship when we come back to the next episode. We're basically going to make our colony ships a lot better by giving them our small warp engines, make them really fast to get between systems. So we'll have a colony ship that's good at everything, and we're going to have a colony ship that goes really fast between systems. It doesn't have very good turn radius, and it doesn't have very good thrust. In fact, thrust indicates the amount of thrust the ship module adds for sublight purposes. Okay, and the turn indicates the amount of rotational thrust this module outputs. All right, so we're going to do that when we come back for the next episode. Thanks for watching. Again, this is Star Drive version 1.15. From the January 18th update. So we're going to check it out, and we're going to go through it in the beginning. I'm going to explain stuff, and we're going to go kind of slow. So probably won't even get into playing much until maybe the end of next episode. Depends on how much stuff we have to talk about. So we'll see you next time, folks. Thanks for watching.